This says, keep Gibraltar British. It's my old war shield. I've been in politics now for over 40 years, so I'm getting there. My dear friends from the Southwest, friends of Gibraltar, we're very grateful to have been asked to address you because it means that you care for Gibraltar. And every British citizen should care for Gibraltar because Gibraltar is solid British. We got into trouble because the Queen came and visited us in 1954. And Franco didn't like it. The fascist guy, who's now dead, luckily, he didn't like the Queen coming over. So he started putting the screws on. And I happened to be in government at the time when he closed the frontier once and for all and robbed us of groceries, meat, even altar wine and oxygens for the hospitals. That's the kind of country Spain is like. And the present government are the heirs of the Franco policy, which we are suffering today. They want to see us strangled, our economy strangled. They can't stand seeing a small Gibraltar vibrant, dynamic, prosperous. They can't, because we are all of those things. So they have to screw us and intimidate us. And you know what they're using? They're using Europe as a tool, using all their regulations to try to trick Gibraltar in some way or another. You know, not long ago, the summer, in fact, in the summer, the queues were 5 hours and 7 hours long in the heat. Cars and pedestrians waiting there inhumanely, unheard of in the whole of Europe before the Berlin Wall. But there it was. They sent an elite force of the Guardia Civil who are reminiscent of the Gestapo because they put fear into you and anybody who tries to cross the border. If any of you have tried, you will see for yourself. They stand there like that. They ask you to empty your pockets. They ask the ladies to open the handbags. Are you carrying tobacco? No, I don't smoke. Do you carry tobacco? No, I told you I don't smoke. What's in your pocket? And you have to empty your pocket. You know, this is the kind of behavior we're having to endure in this day and age because the Foreign Office is weak. It's the politicians are puppets of the Foreign Office. You know, there was a demarcation of the sea around Gibraltar. You know, because Gibraltar should have sea. You know, if it's a port, it should have sea. Well, the Spaniards said we don't have one, that we have a dry coast. Have you ever heard that? A dry coast? Well, we have one. We're unique. Because it said that the Treaty of Utrecht did not specify the handing over of the waters. I like to know why Admiral Rooke went with his navy, or did he fly in 1704? How stupid can you get? How can you create a myth like that? Well, they believe it, and they use it in all their official propaganda. And yet, when it came to demarcating the environmental areas of the seas around Gibraltar, where we're supposed to have 3 miles in one direction, 3 miles in another, and then the meridian, the FCO allowed the demarcation, the latitudes and longitudes or whatever they do, the Gibraltar waters to come under Spanish control for the environment. And that's creating a hell of a problem today, because as I speak now, there's bound to be a Spanish Navy frigate just cruising along gaily in Gibraltar, British Gibraltar waters. And the Navy goes behind it with a megaphone saying, "You're in British territorial waters." And the Spaniards makes a nasty and improper hand signal, which is not stop. So, a survey vessel sent by Spain to survey the area around Gibraltar because we had created a reef for the fisheries, spent 21 hours surveying the area around Gibraltar, and the Navy went behind it for 21 hours, telling the Spaniards that they were in British territorial waters. Where is the Navy, the British Navy of the past? Where is the guts? We don't want anyone to have a fight over that, of course, but there are diplomatic ways that they can be affected. A lot of wine is drunk in Spain, rather in England from Spain. So we are boycotting it in Gibraltar. And fruits and vegetables. And the bullfights, ban them. And we get into this stupid comments by the FCO that diplomatic approaches have been made at the highest level, that Mr. Cameron has called the Spanish Prime Minister and told him off, that Mr. Hague has called his counterpart and told him off. What Mr. Cameron and Mr. Hague don't know, that these two individuals are sons and products of the Franco era, and they care two hoots about England or anybody else, because they're selfish individuals. And then we move on to having harassment of this long queues that we have to suffer, which is intended to scare the tourist and stop trade from Main Street. That is the whole purpose of it, is to ruin us, just like Franco did in '69. But Franco got unstuck. He had an individual such as myself in government at the time, and today we have very good people fighting for us. And we will fight with the help of the English people and the English public to survive and to prosper, and we will do. Paul mentioned that France has 27, you said? Mm-hmm. Well, France, Holland, Denmark, Portugal, and Spain all have overseas territories, and all of them have integrated all their territories into their mother countries, and all of them have MPs in the mother country and in Europe, but not Gibraltar. The FCO left Gibraltar and all the other overseas territories, by the way, out in the cold. But Gibraltar was special because Gibraltar was and is in Europe. So therefore we had an entitlement to be there, to have been drawn in as part of the family. But that didn't happen. The Foreign Office refused for years and years that Gibraltar had the vote in Europe. It refused for years and years and years that Gibraltar became a full British, the people of Gibraltar became full British citizens. Luckily, with perseverance, we have now full British citizenship and full EU membership. But we cannot rest on our laurels like that. Like Paul said, we need to move forward. And to be forward Gibraltar and secure, Gibraltar needs to be seen as being part of Great Britain, because we are part of Great Britain. If we are part of this region for the EU vote. How ridiculous can it get? How can you segregate one thing from the other? So what is right should be that we are given a voice in Westminster. However they like to imagine it or figure it out, but we need to have a voice. We need to be seen to be part of Great Britain, because we know that the British public is with Gibraltar, and we know that if that happens, then our enemies are going to stay a little bit further away, whereas today they keep on being contemptuous, challenging not only us, they don't challenge us, they're challenging Britain, the Union Jack. That's what they challenge. They don't care about Cameron. They don't care about Hague. They have total disrespect. There is only one thing that Spain knows in Europe, and that is how to get money. They spent 20 years as a beneficiary, full beneficiary of EU funds, and a lot of it from England. And today we hear, every day in the press, we hear, not surprisingly, of some minister or another, of some scandal, of somebody having pocketed so much here and so much there. And the corruption goes from the very top to the very bottom. When we complain to Europe about, what was that, 2 minutes? 1 minute. Quickly, when we complained to the European Commission that we were being harassed, they said they were going to send a commission to investigate, and they gave 1 month's notice to Spain that this was going to happen. Guess what? When the commission arrived at the border, you think there was queues at the border? No, of course not. How stupid can you get? But the week before, we hear in the press that Spain has awarded the President of Europe a medal of honor with a ticket of 45,000 euros. So we didn't get the report was not favorable for Gibraltar. We have to appeal it now. So ladies and gentlemen, I am getting the flashes here that it's about time, and it's a great regret I have no more time to give you. But once again, it has been a tremendous pleasure to address the British public, especially the people of the constituency that I belong to. I knew this area very well, and I used to come here on holiday when I lived in Basingstoke, and I enjoyed Torquay quite a lot. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, not only from me, but from the people of Gibraltar. Thank you.